Welcome in for another episode of 704 Unfiltered, where we highlight Black voices in our community and beyond. So, all right, our next guest is a special guest. And I got a question to ask her. So we were talking about cold and being here in the South. She's in Chicago. She got on me for a little bit because I said 50 degrees is cold. But we'll get back to that in a minute. I want to introduce our guest. So if you really want to know what's going on with the business, you got to look at the numbers. Our next guest is the president and COO of Central City Productions Incorporated, which is a Black-owned television programming, production, sales, and distribution company. And President COO of Stellar Network. She makes sure the company can continue to grow its core business of national TV production, sales, and syndication. A Chicago native, went to the University of Illinois, a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. Don't forget the incorporated part. Miss Jennifer Jackson, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. And by the way, Illinois is going to the Final Four.
Oh, man, don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. I'm a UNC guy.
It's been a long time. Long time.
I think the last time y'all were in the national championship was when y'all lost to UNC.
Oh, what year was that?
That was 05. I'm sorry.
I set myself up.
You did, but I'm gonna be nice, and I want to mention Stellar Network, Central City Productions, behind the Stellar Music Gospel Awards that taking place here in Charlotte later this year. A lot of folks are excited about this, but let's start with this because it will be a great transition into the beginnings. What is cold? I said 50 degrees is cold, 40 degrees is cold. You're in Chicago. What is considered cold?
Okay, so there's two levels. There's cold and then there's freezing, right? And so 40 with no sun can be cold. And then freezing is, 10 degrees with a negative wind chill factor of minus something. And yeah, that's freezing. So we have different levels. We have freezing and we have cold. But as I say, don't put away your winter coat. Like it's 60 right now, and I have my winter coat. Like, tonight it might go down to 40. So,
you're not doing a great job of selling Chicago to me. If I ever had a thought about moving to Chicago,
Chicago is awesome. I mean, we have all four seasons, and so you get to experience it all.
All right. We'll stay with Chicago. You grew up in Chicago's Hyde Park.
I did.
Talk about growing up in Chicago's Hyde Park.
So growing up in Chicago Hyde Park, super diverse neighborhood. It's the home of University of Chicago on campus, and so that's a big part of why it's so diverse. It's only about 10 to 12 minutes to get downtown. From Hyde Park, a very walkable neighborhood, and I loved it. I teased my parents, who are no longer with me, that they bamboozled me and my brother because we grew up in a space where it wasn't totally representative of the world that we live in. And so in all of my elementary years and high school years, and probably wasn't until I got away to college, a few years in, when I was like, oh, the world is not quite Hyde Park. But yeah, I loved it.
You talk about...
and it's the home of Barack Obama. They bought a house here probably... It was before he got elected as president the first time around. And so that's another piece.
That sounds a lot like my community, my neighborhood I grew up in Hyde Park, North Carolina. Like that's your bubble, and you're like, okay, this is my reality, this is my church, this is my community. And then when you step outside of that in the real world, you're like, oh, this was something special that I grew up in.
Yes, exactly. It was truly special.
Who were your early influences? Who did you grow up looking up to?
Who did I grow up looking? I was a daddy's girl, so I looked up to my dad quite a bit. My parents were And my entire family, just really big on family, and so I really kind of clung um, to my family, my cousins, and so I don't think that I really looked up to anyone really outward because they were just such good people, warm, kind, helpful, thoughtful, patient, but disciplined. Disciplined us, of course. And you always felt safe. You know, home and our family was such a safe space. And so just spending time with family, family dinners, holiday dinners, that was how I grew up. And so I, I was really clear that I wanted to go to the same school my dad went to for college, which was the U of I. Um, and I was a big basketball fan back then, and so I followed a lot. I grew up in a family of collegiate basketball players, and so we watched a lot of basketball. And so I grew up, on those days, they're sitting there watching basketball games. Um, and so I would just say inwardly, I just never really looked outwardly as looking up to someone, but more so it was my family.
The fight in the lineup. I mean, oh man.
Yeah, and
I,
I don't want to reveal how old I am, but I may end up doing that because I am the product. I was in school when that name came to light, the Flying Illini. So I was there when Nick Anderson, Kendall Gill,
mm,
I forgot Larry's name, Larry Smith. I think that was his name. We had a tremendous team. I mean, they were just, we performed really outstanding during the time that I was there. And that's where that name came from back then.
Look, I hate to put salt on the wound, but about 20
Oh,
years ago
oh,
when Carolina won the national championship against Illinois, yeah, I had some
oh,
great players too. I believe Luther Head was on that team, D. Brown. Um,
yeah,
um,
D.
I'm, I'm
Brown, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
forgetting his name. He got drafted high. He went to Utah Jazz, played for the Utah Jazz for a minute.
Uh-huh.
I got to look it up. But yes, I mean, y'all had historically.
We
You
had
said
great,
Kendall Gill, great
yes,
teams.
yeah, and Nick Anderson.
Nick Anderson. Oh,
Yeah,
Orlando
yeah,
Magic. Nick Anderson.
yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah.
you? Before we
And
go
all
to
from the Chicago and Chicagoland area. Both
wow,
Kendall and Nick, yeah.
Chicago is just a special place when it comes to basketball. I feel like that could be a separate episode. We talk about strictly.
Right, right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a special place. I do want to ask before we go to break. What was your first job out of college?
Oh, I worked for a public accounting firm, a small
Hmm.
public accounting firm, where I was an auditor.
Did you? And the first jobs out of college, that could be a tricky one because it's like, oh man, it's very sobering because it's like, okay, I'm in the real world now,
Mhm.
and a lot of times you don't enjoy. I can speak for myself. I was in the career that I wanted to be, but I was like, man, this is harder than what I thought it was going to be. Did you
Yeah.
find that out?
No, I loved my job. What was hard is at 2 o'clock, and I would be so sleepy, and it would just be so hard for me to keep my eyes open. That was the hardest part, but I loved that job.
Oh man, Jennifer Jackson here on 704 Unfiltered. I have more questions. But we're going to head to break here on WCNC Plus 704 Unfiltered. We'll be right back in just a few
Okay,
moments.
all right.
Welcome back here on 704 Unfiltered. I'm Nick Sturdivant. We have a special guest back from our first break, Jennifer Jackson. We were talking about growing up in Chicago. We talked about, unfortunately, I'm sorry. We talked about basketball.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up. But I do want to ask, how did you get involved in the family business, Central City Productions? Because I read, correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't necessarily think you were going to work or wanted to work
Oh yeah,
there.
absolutely. So Um, my uncle, he owns the business, and at that time, when I was at a public accounting firm, um, my uncle and his wife Rose, who's my aunt, who's passed on, my father, who has passed on, and I'm trying to remember if there was anyone else, but they had asked me if I would, come on over to be their accountant. And I was like, oh, no, thank you. I was like, I can't imagine going to work with family, you know, every day, 5 days a week. I could not imagine it. And so I turned, after my first year, they at the public accounting firm, they asked me, and I politely, turned them down. And then after another year at the public accounting firm, I remember I got a promotion, and they asked me again. And I think maybe because I got the promotion, I was like, okay, I got the next level. So, okay, I'll come and join you. And so that's how it started. But
How
yeah,
do
I
you,
had no intentions whatsoever, none.
with that being said, how do you balance that? You're working with family, but at the end of the day, this is still a business.
Right. And so I always say I'm not related when we're working.
Look, I had to look it up because I was like, wait. Jennifer Jackson, John Jackson. I was like, I had to double check. I'm like, well, they're related. I mean, it could be Jackson is a very common last name, but yeah,
Yeah,
y'all are
yeah.
related.
And we have someone here with the last name Jackson, and she's not related. I think she is, but she's not. Yeah.
Since you've been there, how has the business evolved?
hmm the business, so this business we started off doing a lot of local television programming where we produced television programming that was just really focused. In Chicago, we had a show called Know Your Heritage where high school students competed for college scholarships, and we did a parade called the Bob Billiken Back to School Parade, um, the local AXO Awards for Chicago only. And then it just kind of evolved. The Stellar Awards was always here, was the one big national program that we did. But then things evolved. Our Know Your Heritage show became Black College Quiz, which is a quiz show for primarily HBCU schools competing for scholarship money to go towards their schooling, which is a national show. And so a lot of our programs just developed into being national versus just being solely local. And then we added on our own network, the Stellar Network. So we have our own cable channel, which I know is airing in Charlotte. It's on Charter Spectrum called the Stellar TV Network. And so we just keep on evolving with trying to keep up with everything that's going on in this forever changing world of media. It is constantly changing. We're on some digital platforms, Vizio and Zumo Play. And so it's just trying to keep up with all of the changing dynamics within this industry.
How do you keep up with it? Because I even think about us. We traditionally it was appointment TV for a long time, but now it's everybody wants it on their phone, their tablet, and even when they're watching on their TV, they want it now. They don't want to wait at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So you kind of have to be on all the time. How do you keep up with those changes?
It's really hard because it's still changing. We're clear that, although the demographics say that people 50 and plus, are especially 65 and older, they're definitely still appointment TV. They're still getting cable. And then there's this younger demographic when we want it now and we want it the way that we want it. And so it's not easy. And I really think that even the business is still trying to really figure it out. We have a lot of consolidation going on right now. And I think that you actually have to exist on all platforms. And so you have to be on cable, you have to be on a streaming platform, You have to be reachable on the phone for someone. You have to be reachable in all of these different spaces in order to kind of accommodate all of these different ways that people want to watch and consume content. And it's not easy. But yeah, to keep on reading and reading, things are just constantly changing, every day. And so, um, yeah, it just depends on what demographic you're in. But we need to be reachable on all of these platforms.
As a black owned company, what message do you hope maybe a younger generation takes away? Because that you guys exist and have been doing this for decades. This is not something from the past. This is something that's happening right now. Like you said, you continue to adapt and you continue to change. But what message do you want to send to a younger generation of maybe a kid like myself who was once a kid who wanted to be on TV to work in that space?
Right. Well, we want to inspire people. We want to inspire people of color. Um, we've always come into this space where we wanted to change the paradigm of how people in this country view people of color, and that we see people of color as being um, faith forward, to being professionals, to being blue collar workers, to being just really good family oriented people. It's we're not this negative. We're not bad people. We're not negative people, but we're actually uplifting people. And so we want people to see us as we want to paint the picture. We want to show people in this country that we are a very vibrant, positive, uplifting group of people. We have a show called Mentoring Kings and Mentoring Queens, where we feature people of color talking about their lives and all of the things that they're doing from in their community, what they're doing at their jobs, how do they get from point A to point B to point Z, C, et cetera, et cetera. And so we want to paint a picture, a positive picture of people of color, and we want to inspire. We want kids and teenagers and young adults to believe that they can be anything that they want to be.
One quick question before we go to break. I got to ask this. You're a busy woman. You're president and you're a COO. What keeps you going? Like, I'm sure that alarm clock goes off early. It may seem like it goes off earlier by the week, by the day during the week. What keeps you going?
I love the work that we do. And so that keeps me going. And I want it to continue on. It's not a lot of work being done like the work that we do. And we're independent. And so there's not many Black-owned, I would say, media companies who are out there on all of these different platforms. And so, BET is owned by it's under the Paramount umbrella. TV1, though, however, would be one that is owned and operated by people of color, by African Americans. And so it's just inspiring just to hear all of the stories of overcoming and people wanting to be successful. And so that keeps me going. And also all of the people that we hire and that we employ. That keeps me going because it keeps people, it opens the door of people of color to get into this business as well.
All right, we have Jennifer Jackson here on 704 Unfiltered. Let's take a quick break. I got more questions. I'm going to ask about the Stellar Music Gospel Awards coming up after the break, but you're watching 704 Unfiltered here on WCNC Plus. All right. Welcome back here on 704 Unfiltered. I'm with Jennifer Jackson here, President and COO of Central City Productions and Stellar Network. Let's talk about it. The Stellar Music Gospel Awards. A lot of folks here in Charlotte are excited about it. Why Charlotte?
Oh, wow. So Charlotte is right there is in such a sweet spot. Number one, it's in the South. And so I really wanted us to bring the show to where our people are. The other thing is that Charlotte, being a sweet spot, it is drivable from so many different other cities and other states, which makes it accessible. And so I wanted the show to be accessible to people throughout the South. And Charlotte definitely achieves that. And then the overwhelming support that we're getting from the state of North Carolina and the city of North Carolina has been really quite phenomenal. And so they've been great. Everyone's been really great partners on making this come to life. We've been working on this for a couple of years, actually. And so it's finally coming to fruition. And so we're super excited about that.
What are you most looking forward to? Because I know what awards day and leading in those days leading up, I'm sure you're going to be busy making sure everything is on point. But what are you looking forward to?
I always, actually, it's kind of interesting because I feel like I'm a little bit of a production nerd. And so our first day, when everyone is coming in and everything starts to load off from the docks, from lighting to video to everything, and that in the beginning of everyone coming to, because it's really in this kind of industry, you're working with a small team, but then when you get on site, it's hundreds and hundreds of people. And so seeing everyone come together at one time, and then what we end up building that people end up seeing is really quite phenomenal. And the other piece I look forward to is a lot of people in the gospel music industry call this, it's like a family reunion for everyone. And it's the one time during the year when all of the gospel music artists, the labels, all of the people in the business, people, whether they're in radio, no matter what form of radio that they're in, whether it's internet or if it's broadcast radio, syndicated programming artists, it's everyone coming together at one time to catch up and to celebrate gospel music. And so I really look forward to just seeing everyone all in one place.
Yeah, I feel like Charlotte is like the gospel music capital because not only are a lot of the stars here, but it's just I don't know. Charlotte always had that energy of being like the gospel music capital. I'm sure that probably went into the decision to pick Charlotte as a city to host.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And just the number of people, it helps with it also being on the East Coast from a timing thing, because in the gospel music industry, we have a lot of actually gospel music artists who are actually preachers. And so they're preaching, that Sunday morning unless they take off. And so being in Charlotte also allows them to be able to get back home in time for their Sunday service as well, unless they're just staying over.
Yeah, we don't need John P. Key's congregation to get mad at y'all because he couldn't make it to service Sunday.
Right, exactly.
You guys are going to be taping it, recording it in August. Look,
on August 15th.
It's going to be hot down here. You already know that. So you just come down here with a neck fan.
Right. We're ready. We are set.
Jennifer Jackson, thank you for your time. Thank you for stopping by 704 Unfiltered.
Thank you so much for having me, and I will forgive you for all of the University of North Carolina staffs. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate that. All right, folks, thank you for watching. Again, we highlight Black voices each week here on 704 Unfiltered, WCNC Plus. We'll see you back here next week.